the introduction, what we're gonna learn over here in our upcoming sessions. So I already have some pre-defined classes over here. 12. There will be 12 videos over here, and I have some PDFs for mobile application pen testing part, which is a part of your bug crowd. And the most important thing in the mobile application testing part, we're gonna try to learn from the OWASP mobile top 10 risk, which is the OWASP top 10 critical vulnerabilities. We're gonna learn about the SSL controller tree, SSL checklist, which is a list of SSL and TLS, OWASP productive controls. We're gonna take a look over here, all the things one by one. And this session would be all based on your Android application, not your iOS. Not for the iOS, okay? For example, they have given OWASP top 10 cheat sheet. You can go over here. It's gonna redirect the client request to the main website, which is not found. So this session has been taken from the Bugcrowd website, and on this module we're gonna try to over here I have my own notes. You can see over here on the screen. We have mobile penetration testing, we have Android security architecture. All the 7 chapters, till the 7 chapters, it's all theoretical part. So first thing first is to understand the architecture of the application, and we're going to learn about the OWASP top 10, the standards, and our session will start from here. So in this module scenarios, I will give you the videos links and the data today, so you can simply check one by one in by your own side, and we're going to try to check one by one. So first thing first, for the mobile application testing part, we're going to need 2 things. First, we need a Genymotion. Genymotion is important. Why? Because through Genymotion, we're going to try to have a virtual cell phone, a virtual drive, you can say, just like your VMware virtual box. So our major aspect today would be to check all the possibilities one by one, and we can see custom phone number. You can simply start this one. This is a normal Android version 4.4. So this is a custom phone over here, you can see. And what we're gonna do in this scenario, we're gonna start doing an application part. That would be our Diva, which is over here. So Diva is just like your DVWA, but it's a different part. Diva stands for Damn Insecure Vulnerable App. So just like your DVWA, there would be some challenges like over here. There would be around 13 challenges, and these challenges are based on your OWASP top 10. Top 10 critical vulnerabilities. And in this syllabus, if you check what we're gonna learn, the first module. So you can see over here on the screen that essential for penetration testing Android developers and security analyst, mobile application PTP. So in this scenario, we're going to cover all the real-time Android vulnerabilities, basic of advanced penetration testing and mobile application security. And various vulnerable apps like your Insecure Bank and Diva, we're going to cover those things most of the time. And we're going to try to simply do modules. We're going to cover what other things we're going to cover in our upcoming sessions. This is the proper syllabus that you're going to learn. Android architecture and permission modules, we're going to learn about those things. We're going to talk about Android app component, setting up a testing environment. We're going to set up our own labs. We're going to do reverse engineering part with the help of JDAX, APK tool, dex to jar, etc. We're gonna try various vulnerabilities like insecure logging, leaking content provider, insecure data storage, client escalation, API hooking, malware analysis, DOS, and DYW and browser, which is a very important part. Auditor, Android security auditor framework, and our last and least, our MobSF, mobile security framework. And then in this scenario, I have given some of the introduction of the Android architecture. This is the first module, so we're gonna need Genymotion for our mobile application testing part. That would be our virtualization. The first thing first, when you are doing mobile application testing part, it's all about APK testing, penetration testing for the applications of mobile. So over here, we're gonna try to penetrate one by one all the skills over here. Diva. So let's have a look. So first thing first, before starting the session, it's all about the definition of the architecture that we're gonna try. What exactly an APK or an Android means. An Android is a platform where a mobile or lots of application can be executed one by one. You can see an Android is just like a Linux-based operating system, a Linux-based operating system that we built. A Linux-based operating system is designed primarily for touchscreen mobile devices. So you can see such as smartphones or some are smart computers or tablets. It's all about, if you are using an Android device, it's all about Linux operating system. The Android is a powerful operating system. You have given simple definitions that support large number of applications and smartphones, which is used for user compatibility. And what you're going to learn in this entire course, you're going to learn about the APK, the extension that we use for application testing part. Android application package, which is a full form of APK. And this is basically used to distribute an installation of application software and middleware of Google Android application. And basically these APK files are basically based on the format of jar file format, Java, which is zip format. When you simply install this one, that is extended in the apk.format file. Most of the things over here, it's all about the architecture of the mobile applications. What is an Android? What is an APK? And what could be the architecture? Yes, the most important thing is the architecture of the mobile. The Android architecture is important. Think about it. Whenever a new process, a new application has been installed, the first thing you can see, you have to think about the backend concept. What exactly the backend concept means over here. That it can be tried for different sense of things. So over here you can see they have given some levels, like over here the bottom line. First, the most important thing is the bottom line, which is your Linux kernel. Linux kernel controls all your drivers, application drivers over there. Your hardware drivers, your application drivers, all the things are managed by the kernel level. Libraries are just like your SSL, your SQLite databases, your WebKit, web browser kits, your libc, your libraries files, your OpenGL, graphical interface, your Android runtime when the application is running over there. For example, your Dalvik virtualization machine. Dalvik virtualization machine is an important part. Why? Because Dalvik where a simple virtualization runs. Your operating system is just an iOS. For executing that iOS, we use Dalvik virtualization. That's why. Think about this one. If this application is running, this iOS is running, that's because of the Dalvik virtualization. So our major agenda over here is to simply understand how the architecture works, which can be lead us for information gathering part. The most important thing is over here is to simply understand the functionality of the core mechanism of the application. That could be lead us for further many things. For example, you can see whenever we are simply installing then and Dalvik application is running, an application like these are the application, but before the application there is an application framework which has activity manager, Windows manager, content provider, view systems, package manager, telephone managers. These are the framework which controls all the functionality of an APK, not the API, APK. So over here, the major perspective of this entire part is based on your Android architecture. We can simply get the application in the one click, but in the backend process there are lots of further things: application framework, libraries, Android runtimes, Linux kernel, lots of things are there. For example, if you see over here, what exactly the Linux kernel contains. Linux is just like your, you can say, it will be the bottom of the site which contains all your drivers, your hardware's essentials parts. This provides your level of abstraction between the device and the hardware and contains all the essential hardware drivers like your camera, keypad, display, etc. And basically, your kernel handles all the networking arrays part. Networking means the TCP UDP connection also, which take the pain out of the interfacing. You can see over here. Because if we are simply implementing any of the hardwares, it's gonna communicate with the other resources also on the same part. That's why kernels, Linux kernels are on the bottom of the application, and there are many further things can be happened over there. Our major perspective would be to simply penetrate and simply understand the flow of the part. So over here, if anyone asks you about the kernel is just like your central operating system, which contains all the managers of your computer operations and hardware. So for example, if you talk about the libraries, libraries are just your set of open source web application. Libraries means your dependencies, you can say, which are basically used to interconnect it with the files, other files. So you can see the libraries. Libraries could be your libraries are like your resources of lots of other resources in a single class or a single room. So you can see some other libraries like your WebKit, which is your web browsers, and some libraries are like your SQLite database, which contains useful repository for storage and sharing application data, and libraries to play a record and video SSL. SSL, your secured socket layer for making a better communication with the two nodes. Android libraries are basically your, these are the categories which are important, because you will see something like Android.app, Android contents, Android database, Android OpenGL. What are these things? First of all, you need to understand the basic of the architecture. Android libraries, if you see over here, Android runtimes, which you can also say that one, but it's a different thing. Android libraries are just your components of this one, and basically these categories are based on your functionality. If you see over here, Android libraries will show you the basic concept of the GUI and the functionality and the database access. See this one. The application framework libraries is initial offer to facilitate user interface building like your graphic, drawing, database, and access, which can be compatible with the user interface, which can a user can use it in a proper way. For example, you can see Android.app. Android.app provides access to the application model and its constant of the applications. It basically provides you an application model just like an APK application. Android app, Android application. Android content, it is basically used to sending messages between the application. Content access, publishing and messaging between application and application component. Because think about it, an Android app can be interconnected with each other. Android database, the database which can be used for access of the content provider and includes your database storage part of the credentials of user credentials. Android OpenGL, it's all about the rendering of the API. Rendering of the API means the icon, you can say. Android OS is just basically used for communicating or messaging the system call. System call over there. Provides application with access to standard operating systems, services including messages, system services, inter-process communications. Your Android.text used for manipulating the text display when you have a pop-up of any of the applications. When you have message on your display, there's a message over there. Android.text is running over there in the backend side. Android View, fundamental building blocks of application user interface. Android widget, you can say gadget, widget. Rich collection of the pre-built user interface components such as button, label, list view, layout, managers, radio buttons, etc. And the WebKit is all about your allowing web browser capabilities. And most of the libraries, you can see, most of the libraries of the Java based are, which is also based on your C++ contents also. So in this upcoming sessions of your mobile PT, you're going to learn about the architecture of Android application that we are already running, we are discussing over here in the first session, and the components. But the most important thing is to understand the application layout part. See this one, the Android runtime. The Android runtime is an important thing. Why? Because it controls all the GUI part, which is your Dalvik. The third section of the architecture and available on the security layer, which is a multi-threading, which is a you can see this is the third section of the architecture and available for the second layer from the bottom. This section provides a key component which is called your Dalvik virtualization machine, which is basically designed to optimize Android APIs. And see, this application is basically used to feature like your memory management and multi-threading, which is in Java language, which enables every Android application to run its own process. Each and every application on the Dalvik machine has their own process to be running over there instead of Dalvik part. And Dalvik basically used to core mechanism part of the libraries interconnected. Runtime also provide a set of core libraries which enables Android applications developers to write Android application using standards. So the most important thing is to understand how the components work with the kernel level, with the libraries, with the runtime, Android runtime, and the Android application framework. Application frameworks are the most important thing. Why? Because in application framework, most of the application they interconnected with the services. The application framework layer provides many higher level services to the application in the Java classes. And remember one thing, most of the applications are based on Java. Application developers are also used to services in the application. As I mentioned, you activity manager, content provider. These are the important topics. These four are the important things. All the mobile application are based on these things. Activity manager. Activity manager, it's like the behavior or the logs that you have created with that application. Control all the aspects of the application lifecycle and activity stack. Means logs analysis part. Content provider. Content provider is basically used to share data between other applications. Think about Instagram can also be clicked one click, and in a one click we can simply share any data from Instagram to Facebook because they're interconnected, because they are a content provider. Allow application to publish and share data between applications which are similar to each other, which are functionable. Nowadays, nowadays you guys might be using Instagram and Facebook, so there is a share button. Do you want to share on the Facebook from Instagram? Yes. So you have to think about these properties that this should be over there. For example, if we talk about the resource managers basically provide access to the non-coded embedded resources such as your string, color, settings, and user interface layout. This is a normal part of the data. Notification manager. This one. Notification manager which will pop up an alert on the user interface. Simply a simple pop-up display. View system, an extensible set of views used to create application and user interface. See, given proper things one by one. There are many further things can be happen, and that could be lead us for information part. And the last and the least, what we have a proper definition. And which kind of definition we have over here? This view system information is just like to create an extension set of views used to create application user interface. A proper graphical interface for the users that is using their application for that. Many further things can be happen over there, and which can be used for the further stages. For example, the last and the least, we have the application. All you will find all the applications of the top of the layer. You will be write your own application to be installed on the layer only. Example of such as your contacts, books, browser, and games. There are many further things that an architecture of the mobile applications will work. But over here is to understand the core mechanism how the application works. See, these things as interconnected with a part of your syllabus. So I will say we need for the practical sessions in our upcoming sessions of practicals. We're gonna start with these modules. We can see Android security architecture, Android application development cycle, how the applications developed over there, Android application components, setting up the Android testing labs, your own environment. We're gonna learn about the simple Android debugging bridge. We're gonna try all the possibilities one by one in our upcoming sessions. For example, first of all, I will say to install Genymotion on your local server. That can be used for penetration testing part of the mobile applications. And the most important thing, we're gonna penetrate those things with our Kali Linux. And I majorly use mobile application. So you can see in mobile part, I have some. We need JDEX also for JDEX for reverse engineering part, which I'm gonna told you. And we're gonna use mobile security framework, which is your MovSF. And we're gonna try to install Browser also. Browser is an important part because through this one we can use it for the content provider. Content provider to simply broadcast all the packets in the between the nodes. So lots of things can be happen over there one by one. And for example, if you go to the JDEX binary, we're gonna use the Diva APK source because this is also a source code review part. We have to check this one also. And we're gonna try to penetrate our skills one by one. And the most important thing is to understand the core mechanism of the application part. So over here, and we're gonna start learning from our these modules. These are the modules that we're gonna cover in our sessions, and these are important modules first of all. And if you talk about the Android security architecture is all about the permission of an application that can be granted. So whenever we are installing an application, think about it. Think about what are the permission it's taking. For example, say this one. I have an application which is on my server. Yes, this one. So Android security permission architecture, it's all based on the which application, the application that we are installing in our local server, what are the permission is taking, the privacy. For example, this is a normal a malware. This is a normal malware I created, and when I click this one, you can see over here, these are the permission which is taking over here. Like this, if you install this application, they're gonna make a direct call from your number. It's gonna read your text messages, and they can send also. They can take pictures. They can record sessions, approx locations of the network based, previous locations based over there, modify your context. See, these are the permissions an application can take, and that comes in your Android security architecture. Whenever you are installing an APK on your mobile device, security architecture, you can see over here a central design point of the Android security architecture is that no application by default has the permission to perform any operation that would adversely impact other applications. See, the same thing which I was telling about you. The operating system or the user and application process is a secure sandbox. It can be performed over there one by one. So if you see over here, it's all about giving the security permissions that can be controlled over here with the application part. And in the Linux operating system, each and every application over there has a privileges, and they have a separate PID, which is your process ID. And one more thing, in the permission control, which is over here, mobile permission control organization can disable the entire range of mobile permission accessed by the Android and the iOS applications to protect the end user privacy and guard against unknown use of compromised app. It means Android permission control, which can be used for get a proper security of the data privacy, provided data privacy to secure the entire network domain. And the most important thing is to simply escalate the permissions. And if we talk about the mobile permission, is available as part of the mobile security suites and Android app DOM suites, which is basically used to mobile permission control, which is basically used to features of protections. The most important thing, let's talk about the layman thing. It's all about giving the permission to an application. What are the impact can be caused over there? And the most important thing is when you're simply using an application over there, when you're using an application for the penetration testing part or the checking the application which is installed over there, you have to check all the possibilities, just like this one. There will be one file in your and each and every APK, which is your Android manifest.xml file. This file is an important thing. Why? Because this file contains all the permissions of a specific application. Every application must have an Android manifest.xml file, which is precisely that name in its root directory. The manifest presents essential information about the application to the Android system. Information the system must be have before it can be run from the application code. Yes, whenever we install an application, you will see android.manifest file, and we're gonna look this file on our reverse engineering part. But I'm gonna show you right now for a demonstration. So over here we have diva.beta file and text.apk file. So I already have reversed this part, and you can see android.xml file. But if you open this one, you will see something like this. So the permission which is granted, user's permission. See, you will see something like this one: android.permission, write external storage, read external storage, and get permission of the internet. So these are the things can be happened over there. And the most important thing is to simply penetrate all the skills one by one. Reverse engineering is a part where you will get all the possibilities one by one on the application to see the database file. So our major part over here will be simply to penetrate or simply check all the possibilities that could be lead us for information gathering part for the further stages. So let's try one by one, and we're gonna try to check the permission. The permission is an important thing. Through the permission, an attacker simply gain information or the reverse engineering part. There are many further things can be happen, but the most important thing, you have to install each applications and the fundamentals. So I will say, please note it down that you should install JDEX. You can simply search JDEX 1.10 in the Google. I will recommend you to install this one on your Kali Linux. JDEX 1. Download, yes. You can install from the GitHub also if you want. See, you can install from here. I guess it will be on the bottom here. Over here you can see. You will see zip file. You will get jar file, Windows file, source code you will get. So I will recommend you to install this one, because through JDEX is basically used for decompilation. It's basically used for decompilation, or you can say reverse engineering part. So when you're using this application, the major objective of the JDEX will be use it to read the source code of the file. So let's use this one, JDEX.gui and the diva file. See this one. Over here you can see also the Android manifest file, and you can see the source code of the files over here one by one. The last session would be our MOV-SF. That would be our mobile security features, and that would be on the last stage. After the we are going to do the manual thing first. So the most probably things we need over here, JDEX. Kindly install JDEX over here. So if I do test.apk, this is the malicious file, and see what are the permissions that an application can take. So you can see over here one by one. So our major perspective, we're gonna take all the possibilities and all gonna check the videos. So these are the permission that take over there. So in our session, we're gonna try to look one by one, and kindly install JDEX, because we're gonna mostly use JDEX over here. And before the JDEX, we're gonna try to learn some basic concept about the Android manifest file and some other techniques also. The permission flow. So the permission flow is the normal thing. So we're gonna talk one by one all the things over here. Yes. So this was all.